of newspapers, this is very concerning. And the fact that now this is spilling over into Pinal County, it's spilling over into Arizona, and that's a problem. And my sense is when you have not only Senate Bill 1070, which is a tool for local law enforcement, and what it would do is it provides uniform enforcement for all law enforcement, saying that, hey, this is a requirement of the law. This isn't a federal immigration law, this is a Class 1 misdemeanor here in Arizona for us to arrest somebody once we determine through reasonable suspicion and probable cause, as we do for any other crime that we have to assess and then make a decision out in the field, that they have committed trespassing. Then we effect an arrest. And so at that point, once they're taken into custody, they're turned over after a judge sentenced them for a short time in our jail to ICE, Immigration's Custom Enforcement. Then it's their charge, their duty, to formally process those people out of America to the country from which they came. So for us, this is an additional tool for law enforcement that I support. There's a lot of disagreement about this, but at the very least, we all agree that the border must be secure. So instead, as you aptly put out, Paul, that why try to put up a roadblock here? The federal government fighting Arizona, pulling us into court, taking our focus off of the real problems and concerns of public safety for our families, taking us into court and fighting us. Why doesn't the federal government do their job and secure our borders? Deploy 3,000 soldiers to Arizona to secure our border, not 1,200 soldiers as the president begrudgingly agreed to, but they're going to be split among 4 southwest border states. That falls far short. So not just the 3,000 soldiers that we need, we still haven't gotten the ones that he promised, but also to build the fence. This double barrier fence, this isn't a partisan issue. President Clinton originally signed that bill authorizing the double barrier fence that started and was completed in California, was started and it was completed in Yuma County. We have 3 counties now, Cochise, Santa Cruz, and Pima County, that have not been secured. President Obama has suspended the construction of the fence, and that is outrageous. And that fence needs to be built in the key areas where there's high traffic, proven corridors of drug and human smuggling. And that's the only way we can secure those borders. The troops building the fence and implementing what's called streamline. That basically ends catch and release, where an illegal comes in, and this happens right here in Casa Grande and Pinal County. They're called VR, voluntary return it stands for. So everybody who comes in, unless we can prove that they're convicted of some serious crime or a violent offender, they're just not even getting a slap on the hand, they just get voluntary repatriated to their country the next day or within a couple of days, so they get a meal and a shower and back to try another day. That's the wrong message. All it does is encourage people to come back in. And this is where, if you saw 2 weeks ago, we had 2 drug smugglers who were just murdered, killed right just west of here in Casa Grande by other drug smugglers who were stealing their drugs. And one of those who was killed was VR'd, or voluntary returned, 7 times. That's the message that it sends. There's no penalty to come into America, continue to come in, break our laws. That has to stop. And that's a federal issue. We're not going to change that with Senate Bill 1070. So instead, the President and the White House and all of these leaders in Washington, instead of solving our problem, securing the border, they want to get in a fight with Arizona, undermine the rule of law, and then they quickly went after law enforcement. We're the enforcers of the law. We don't write the laws as you and Representative Frank Pratt has done. We enforce the law. So now the focus, Eric Holder, the Attorney General, instead of reading the law first, he went on the attack against law enforcement. The President himself did. They hadn't even read the law, but they criticized law enforcement. Oh, this could be racial profiling, this is ill-advised, and given scenarios of a father walking down Main Street here with his son or daughter in hand with an ice cream cone. The most innocent picture that you'd ever see, and then in comes the big bad police officer to stop them demanding papers. Not only is that outrageous, we would never do that. This law forbids us from doing any of that. We cannot use, contrary to the federal immigration law, where it can be used, race, color, national origin, as part of the totality of the circumstances that an officer can use for this scenario for that stop. We cannot. So it has to be a lawful stop, a traffic stop, because the person was speeding. And and then the person say it was Frank.